knowledge went out the window.
That is lead Lauren Erickson's first 2 shots. That one gets in play, and we got 2 guards in play.
Allie's twin sister Brooke throwing here.
Well, at least they're lead and skip, so it won't be quite as difficult to tell which is which. They're spread out by a few players.
Hard, girl! Hard, girls! Girl! Hard, girl! Just me, hard!
Getting this to finish. In first game, Mike, we saw Rocks really finishing hard once they get across the center line on this ice. That's not unusual at all for, if you're familiar with watching nationals at any level in the United States, Sean Olison's ice, that turn line where it starts to turn over is usually just before it gets to the center line.
Yeah, you heard the girls yelling hard curl there, and it actually poked out the other side. So the Rocks are finishing nice and hard. That one slipping a little bit behind the T line.
Here's second Carol Chance, starting off her tournament as well. Gets by the guard, coasting a little bit towards the back of the rings.
Yeah, this afternoon's draw, we talked about, I talked to my skip who I'm coaching, that we have to miss guards by many inches to be sure that we're fully buried. And guards that were higher in the 1-2 zone really weren't effective. You could dig them out with any weight.
For these teams,
Back 4! Hello. Back 4! Never. I think we just let it hit the brakes. Back 4, coming down. Okay. Back 8. Well, we never have to.
Ella Fleming now throwing the draw around the corner guard on the opposite side. Some very forceful talking to the Rock early in the game here too.
That's good for a sweeper, right? Just make sure you tell this Rock what to do.
As a shooter, that never really seemed to listen to me. I don't know if it worked better as a sweeper or not.
If I could have had Rocks that listened, I would have been a lot better at this game.
Nia Berg calling the peel, trying to open things up here. Intern side, crosses the face of the stone and rolls all the way across out the other side.
On that one, would you ever just drawing on top of it? Like half under. Just half. Give me a little fresher.
Nice call early in the end to make sure that corner guard didn't come back to hurt him later.
And that is the dangerous rock in this situation too, not the ones in the house. If those rocks are open, you can hit them at any point, but the guard is the one that hurts you the most. So, as you said, Pep, that's an excellent call, clearing that open. So Ella Fleming throwing her second now.
A lot of conversation from Team Giroux as the rock comes down this sheet, so they've been really prepared with talking it through, so everyone's in the know with what's happening.
That rock does come to a halt in the back of the house. So Team Giroux sitting at least 2, possibly 3 in the back. So third for Team Berg. Now Solveig Berg.
Yeah. Well, probably that one, or I'm just drawing, Allie.
Makes the hit and stays on the, just inside the nose of that stone. That's a really good result there.
Great result. Like making a triple.
Essentially clearing all those stones. Yeah, that's an excellent shot from Solveig to start her tournament. And always great, Mike, making those early. Something that maybe is a little more of a finesse shot. They played control weight there on the outside of the sheet, made it essentially perfectly with where that ended up. Gives you a lot of confidence early in the tournament.
I think you remember those lines more, too, as a skip and as a thrower. Like you've seen that, and it sticks with you for later in the game.
Tessa Thurlow now playing this in-turn draw around the guard. Electing to try to score with the last 4 stones as opposed to making the others count, which probably is the right play at this point. With where those rocks are lined up, so difficult to move that red stone and actually help.
Yeah. Agree. It seems like the ice is just a nibble quicker than what they're all thinking at this point.
Team Berg qualified for this event through a qualification event in Blaine earlier this season. For Team Giroux, qualified right here in Eau Claire, Wisconsin.
Yeah, happy moment for that team. They made it to the finals and qualified because the team they were playing was already in at that point.
We've played a few of those in our time, playing somebody who's already in an event and helping you get through.
Yeah, very relaxed game, right?
Top it. Do I ever peel now?
I remember celebrating in 2015 after Craig Brown won his semifinal matchup in the Nationals, which put us into the Worlds.
There you go.
Very strange situation, sitting and watching somebody else play for your spot in. Obviously, we still wanted to win the national championship after that, but I do remember Craig even looking over and pointing at us in the stands.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
Where?
Obviously, somebody you're very familiar with too, Pat.
Yeah, former teammate and one of the best. Craig continues to do his thing with curling, and he and his dad Steve taught me a lot about the game.
So in-turn come-around draw here for Team Giroux. Getting a pile of stones back there.
Really good.
This one does stop just behind the tee line. Pretty good spot. Still an opportunity for a freeze here for Nia Berg.
You talked about that hard finish earlier in the end, and we've seen it on all those rocks that are back there. Every one of them had that nice sharp turn to it.
I like that phrase. Instead of freezing on it, let's land on it.
Land on it.
Yeah.
I also like how she said we're just going to do that. Like, that's
yeah,
easy.
that's all. It's not like we're doing anything difficult. No big deal. Good confidence from the young skip. The southpaw throwing this come-around land, I guess we'll call it.
Where is it? Where is it?
Line looks to be close. Needs to turn over and hit the brakes. Still coasting by. Bumps their own. Sits in the back of the 8-foot.
See what Allie decides here. One thing we noticed in the first end today is when a number of rocks were played on one path, that path became lightning for the next shot. So both teams really had a hard time stopping the rock where we wanted to in that first end.
Yeah, we were seeing times in the 15s to get to the 4-foot for our first game. And not always the low 15s either.
Yep. Especially with sweeping, right? They climbed up there.
And this is a good one to lay out there for your sweepers. You don't want to leave a wall of stones to freeze to or go by and leave that freeze again. So Allie Giroux is first of this national championship tournament.
Okay, then whoa. It just hasn't broken yet. Close, Ella. Ella curl.
Starting to turn now, but a long ways to go.
Ella. Hard for anything. Hard. Cross the center. Hard. Hard, Ella.
Does use the backing though, so sits 2. Not a bad result.
A little less than last time, not too much.
Little adrenaline,
And
maybe
if we
early in the
land
game.
here-
Again, something we can vouch for too.
Right, for sure.
I think my first stone of my only Olympics is still going, and that was a draw. I threw it so bad. John and I were laughing, like outwardly laughing, as it was going through the house and stopping somewhere around the.
And you think you're mentally prepared for that, right?
Yeah.
Until it goes out of your hand.
I kind of just like here.
In my defense, it was on the center line starting out,
Yeah,
going under
yeah.
a corner guard. So the fastest line on the sheet,
There you
obviously.
go.
They're sitting.
Looks like Nia's trying to freeze her out here with this one and see if she can find the right weight.
Where is it?
Playing the out turn draw, getting a second look at it too.
Line.
They like the line a little more on this one, sweeping now. Line looks really good.
Where is it? Wait. Off. Curl.
Now getting it to finish.
Curl. It's fine, good shot.
Bounces off a little bit. May be able to dig it out, but where do you hit it with that wall of rocks? Maybe able to sneak it into that pile for 3.
12-5 here. 12-5.
It's just deciding what weight they're going to throw here.
Maybe here.
12-5, probably like a board weight here today.
That's probably pretty close. Solid hack to board.
Like the same weight. 12-5. Like if I'm light, it's not.
Looking for same weight as she just threw. Always good when you get to repeat the previous shot. So a good tester early on for Allie Giroux. Shot for 3. Starting off this first game of their U21 championships. Gets by the guard. Will it jam on the back?
Wow.
Oh, it still ends up being 3. Great sweep there.
Never saw that hitting that side of the rock.
No. But it is a 3 for Allie Giroux to start off her tournament. Leads 3-0 after one end of play.
What was it? 3.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
I think what you threw for your guard a little faster here.
There you see that 3-0 start. Team Giroux. Wonderful shot by Allie Giroux and a great sweep on that final stone, leading Nia Berg's squad. Twin sister Brooke Giroux.
Where? Yeah! Bring it in! Hard, curl!
Trying to get this one to the rings.
Hard! Hard, girls! Curl hard! Get it on the center, hard! Really hard, really hard, really hard! Okay, nice shot, B.
Great start there with a pressure rock, and Nia's going to come around it looks like.
You got it?
Talked to Coach Jeremy earlier today, and he just said this team is they're new to competitive play and really enjoying this experience of getting to play these teams in this environment. So what a great opportunity for a young up-and-coming team.
Yeah, first U21 nationals for this squad. And we all remember our first. And playing in this type of event is it's a completely different animal.
You just lit out pretty hot.
Back when we played, we had names of our state on our back, right?
Yes, we did.
Meeting teams from the GNCC and meeting teams from Ohio and Alaska and Washington was a treat. We knew the teams from the Midwest, but we didn't always know those other players. And,
right.
Great atmosphere.
Hard curl! Hard curl!
Really dating ourselves here now, as we'll probably do another 40 or 50 times during the broadcast this evening. Nice looking draw coming in here from Brooke Giroux. Comes to a stop in the back of the forefoot. And so important at this level of play too, and really in every level of play, but more so in the junior level. that you're keeping your opponent chasing your stones, too. Anytime you have counters in, anytime you have your opponent looking at your rocks, it's always a better situation than the alternative.
Yeah, the idea of making the opponent throw a pressure shot, the more often you can do that, you see a few more of those misses or half shots or sweeping errors. You just get a little more of an advantage for your team, and it's certainly part of the game.
That's okay.
So lead for Team Berg, Laura Erickson's. Draw comes up a little short, but another rock in play to use.
Kind of like this way again. Top 4. Top, it's okay here.
So another intern come around now, attempt from Ella Fleming.
Ella spent a lot of time improving her game, and wow, really improved in the last 2-3 years here with her work at different camps and her work back home in North Dakota. Just a great talent, as all these girls are.
Hard! Hard! Top 4! Hard! Hard, Brooke, you gotta go. Hard, Brooke. Whoa.
Getting tight to the guard here, but does get around again.
That's fine. That's
These
okay.
Team Giroux sweepers getting a workout early on, but getting their rocks by the guards each time.
Just hit whichever one you hit.
We've seen Nia go to the peel here at 2 ends in a row, and
okay.
certainly could try the freeze here, but with hammer, I think she's trying to open up the center and make her last shot a little easier.
Let's get this top one.
Carol Chance at second, is trying to clear things up the front. Moves both stones around. That's a pretty good result. Anytime you have those guards angled the way that they were, you're really forcing yourself into having to make that freeze on the next shot if you don't peel, because otherwise there's no way to get in. So much better situation with just the one guard that they can use to run back or come around without near as much danger.
Yeah, the scary stagger, right? You either get under it or you're in trouble if you don't.
Top 8, top 4.
See that little lean with the chin in the hack for
I believe
Ella
she's
Fleming.
left eye.
I was just going to say, I bet that's the left eye dominance. And I found now when I travel around and do clinics and camps and things like that, that's one of the first questions we ask with players if they know if they're left or right eye dominant, because some have no idea that that's the case, and they've been throwing with the rock staggered to their non-dominant eye all the time. So good on her for figuring out maybe a decade before, 20 years before, 40 years before other players do.
Let's go for the peel. Hard. Roll it.
They play the peel once again and open things up. Well executed.
And with 3 yellows in the house, they all seem like danger rocks, but that top center guard was really one that could cause some trouble later in the end. So catching that one and getting it out of there makes this look a little more open right now.
Tessa Thurlow for Team Giroux. Familiar with Tessa, watching her play with Team Shield in our women's nationals this year.
Absolutely. Tessa was a UW Eau Claire student for at least a semester and a member at the Eau Claire Curling Club for a short time, so familiar with the surroundings here.
Such an impressive run by her squad to make it to the Final Four in our women's championship. Such a bright future for that squad, for those players.
Do you want to come for this? Yeah.
Again, we talk about the talent in the junior field, and so those top teams are on top of that, but the teams that are here this week are right behind on their heels, and we certainly feel that on the guys' side. It's very, very strong teams in this field, and there are a handful of teams that aren't here that are very capable of playing with the teams that are.
Hard.
Solveig Berg playing the hit on this stone on the top of the 8-foot. Trying to move some granite around. Gets 3 moving. 2 to the back 12. 1 out. That's a very good result now.
Sitting second count, so it looks like Allie will make a play on it.
Yeah, that's a tough shot to throw to sit second, to hit that stone based on where the rocks were set up. So definitely did the job for Team Berg.
With just the age of the Giroux team, they're able to throw a little more weight on these shots and move more granite, but Solveig with a great shot there.
Should be good. I need to give you
Thurlow
less.
plays the
That's
hit,
me.
does roll off, but still sitting 3.
I like hitting and rolling. Okay? You were just a little bit narrow on your last. Same weight. Yeah.
Well communicated as far as what happened on the
You were
previous
just
shot.
narrow.
Yeah, both teams seem to be doing a lot of communicating early in the
Yes.
game.
Yes.
Again, something you may not always see from younger players.
Okay, roll it. Roll it.
Hit and stick is made, doesn't quite roll over, but sitting first count.
Going the other way? Or is this? I feel like we're not going to get much out of it. Okay. I like it. Got a nice one here, Allie.
So quick discussion about where they're putting the broom and what they've seen on this line. They don't think that it's going to curl a lot, and we heard 9-5 the call for hog-to-hog time, so about normal pass.
Her last one, I get to give her last.
In addition to the communication, the sweepers really have a beat on what's expected, right? Their brushes are down right away, and as soon as the sweep is called, they know which brusher they want on. It's really impressive to see where all these teams have gotten to as far as their team systems.
Skip Allie Giroux, her first here in the second end. Really early sweep call here.
Right to it! Hard! Right to it. You're good. Good sweep, Ella.
Sweeper's able to hold it, so it stays on the paint. Shot rock, side of the 8-foot.
This way, I like this way. I like this double. Yeah. Just got to hopefully double.
I was thinking of maybe a freeze to this pocket down here, but she can play a hit and still have the pocket behind the rock. So I think there's a couple good options here.
Yeah, it's kind of whichever one you feel like you're going to make as the skip, and she immediately went right to playing the hit.
Just try and double one of them. Or just hit and stick is fine. So hit and stick, I like.
So out turn, hit and stick for the
Yes!
southpaw.
Hard, gotta go. Hard all the way.
Sweeper's going early on this one.
Hard, gotta go.
A stopwatch coming out there, maybe.
Losing some shrapnel on the way down.
There we go.
What was that?
Oh, a hand warmer.
Yeah.
Is it that cold out there, Pep?
It's not that cold out there.
His hand.
The sweepers are working awfully hard, too. They should be warmed up, I think.
Oh, that. Okay. I like
Yeah, there has been a lot of sweeping from both teams in the first couple ends.
Last year we had an opponent burn a rock with a stopwatch, which sometimes just clicks it and doesn't affect the rock, but the rope got tangled under the rock and actually stopped the rock before the hog line. I was like, boy, I've seen a burn before, but that one was something else.
So Allie Giroux's final stone of the second end. Always good to get an open look with the draw early in the game,
Almost
too.
beat you to saying it. Yeah, I think as a skip, you always want to get a chance to throw one to the tee line and get the feel.
Shoot.
That will glide to the back of the house and through.
What time? Here. If I'm heavy, then we can hopefully hit one.
Nia Berg thinking she'd like to have the backing for this draw, so is going to throw
Or do you feel
her
more
intern.
comfortable with the hit? What? Do you like the hit better? We could. Do you want to? Whatever you want. Do you guys like the draw?
As she's
or
going
the
down
hit?
the ice here, and they're
you guys
trying to
like the
decide
draw
between
or
the
the
two
hit?
shots. One thing we talk a lot about for junior camps and junior curling is like decide on the shot as you go. If you change your mind, go ahead and set the broom as the skip because you spend so much time on that end of the ice calling the game. So we'll see what she comes up with here.
sticking with the draw for the time being, and now coming out of the hack for her final
Where
stone.
is it?
In
Where
turn
is it?
draw.
Straight. Where is it?
This
Hard.
really curling once it gets across that center line
Hard, just
again.
stay here,
Sure
just stay
is.
here. Hard all the way. You got it, hard.
Running out of house to
Hard,
see if they can use
hard.
that
Might
backing.
have a
Just
stopper.
Lauren, just Lauren. Hard, Lauren. Hard, Lauren. Hard.
And does end up crossing all the way over.
Just over
That's
curled
okay.
on her.
Is a steal of
Yeah,
2
Yeah.
for Team Giroux. They lead 5-0 after 2 ends of play. With this second end break, Steve's Curling Supplies, America's #1 curling equipment supplier for over 50 years, is proud to support USA Curling. No matter your skill level or budget, they have all of the top products from the most popular brands in the sport. Right now, you can save $10 on any purchase of $100 or more when you use the code USACurling10 at checkout. Visit us at stevescurling.com for all your curling needs. Third end of play. Team Allie Giroux leading 5-0 over Team Nia Berg, their opening game of this 2024 U21 Women's National Championship event. Tyler George here with Olympian and junior national champion Mike Poplinski. And we see the other scores on sheet A. Gracia Berg leading 1-0 over Allery Johnson. Claire Viau with a 2-0 lead over Miranda Scheel on sheet B. Julia Pekowicz 1-0 over Ava Shatman on sheet C. And, of course, our feature game, Allie Giroux leading 5-0 over Nia Berg.
Out.
How many junior titles do you have, Tyler?
So I never won one.
No.
You never won one.
I went to a Junior Worlds in a year I didn't even win Junior State.
We were just talking about me losing track of curling for too many years there. So with your storied
That's
career,
good.
I
You're
figured you
supposed
had
to
one. But it's just not easy to get over that
It
hump,
was
isn't
tough,
it?
especially in those years where you have to get out of your own state. I mean, we had a junior state one year where we had John Schuster skipping a team, myself skipping a team, Chris Perkovich skipping a team, if people still know that name too, from junior national champion in his own right. We had Chris Plies skipping a team in his very young years.
Yep.
Joe Polo skipping a team. And Anders Brorsen, I believe, was skipping a team
That was
too.
to get out of Minnesota.
To get out.
Get to the national
Two
title.
teams go, yeah.
Back four. Right around. Just around.
I think I called back 4 here. I wasn't sure if it was a tap or a come around. Looks like a come around.
Yeah, that will be gliding by towards the back of the rings again.
Get it up. Yeah.
Getting some separation between those stones, though. Team Giroux seems to be fairly locked in early on.
Just watch them push. Yeah. Just watch your arm. Clean release. Got it.
Yeah, Tessa with all the experience you talked about
There
with
you
other
go.
teams, and Allie and Brooke certainly have that as well, and Ella. So I think all of them combining the knowledge that they've learned from different systems, different teams, and it's still a bit of a work in progress. It's new to them this year, but boy, you can see it's coming together very well.
Hits made there from Lauren Erickson for Team Berg. That'll stick on the outside of the house, too.
I like the hit.
And Mike, if you donate your time in the booth this week, then you get to talk about your own squad as well, too. So,
Sure.
So tell us about your team you're working with here.
Yeah, I've been coaching Team A-Bear from the Eau Claire Curling Club now for just over 5 years. Boy, we've had a successful run this year. They lost in the championship last year, and afterwards we all met individually and just talked about what the next year brings. And I looked in all their eyes and could tell that they wanted more, and they continue to push and give everything they have to increasing their game, which I think everyone here is doing. So it's really fun to see the level of play rise from what we've been able to do to what the other teams have been able to do as well. Good shot by Ella to sit two in the back there and play in the scoreboard a little bit.
Yeah, nice hit and stick out in the wings.
Benji, my second, went over to the Youth Olympic Games and came back with a bronze medal with Ella Wendling, who's playing in the girls' field. So
sure.
Those were some sleepless nights as I watched scoreboards on Curling Zone update because there was no live feed.
Right.
So happy with the result there and the experience that Benji got. And two of my other players, Caden and Jackson, my skip and third, played with Wes Wendling and the World Junior Championships. They played the World Bs, they played the World As, they played the Men's Nationals. So quite an experience for those guys, and they continue to come back, and their game is going to another level with all that experience.
I was lucky enough to play an event with Wes and his U21 team earlier this season
Detroit,
at the Duluth
right?
Cache.
Or Duluth.
Yeah.
So, okay.
My hometown. Traveling would have been a lot tougher.
Sure.
It's in my backyard.
Love that.
Coach Ann Swisshelm asked if I'd be willing to
I
spend some time with them, and had a lot of fun with Wes and his team. A lot of talent there. Had worked with Kevin Tuma a little bit previously with juniors, but my first experience with the rest of the team, and it was a lot of fun. Just getting to go out there, chuck a few again, and let the guys handle most of the sweeping. I'll get the big stuff.
Two of the members
way.
on that team, and the other one, Jackson Armstrong, I'm sure took care of all the brushing for you. He's about as good as with the brush.
I just stayed out of his way. Yeah.
And then the other member of our team, our playing team, is Jack Wentland, and Jack plays lead for us, handles so many things on the administrative end, our sponsorship, and I'm not sure if there's a better lead in the field with how he throws the rock and brushes the rock. I think his biggest compliment this year is Coach Stephen Dropkin calling him a tank earlier in the year, and Jack embraces that very much.
Nice hit and stick made there by Carol Chance. So both teams trading hits now. Team Berg trying to get on the board, keeping things simple.
Allie looking to force here. No danger rocks. And talking about the team, it also brings me to talk about our curling club. And hosting a junior nationals is quite an undertaking. And in addition to the members that are here doing that, we just have such a support system for embracing what the guys are trying to accomplish. They play leagues against them. They sit and talk to them, and the guys do a nice job. Team Aber does a really good job of taking care of the spirit of curling too, sitting with their opponents afterwards, listening and learning from all the members. And you and I have certainly had the experience of that too, right? Everyone has something they want to share with you, a piece of curling knowledge, and never turn one of those pieces of information down, right?
Oh, absolutely
you continue
not.
to learn.
That's those short conversations too can have so much impact. You know, I've said 100 times on these broadcasts of Bud Somerville taking 4 minutes out of his night at the cystic fibrosis event in Superior back in the day to tell me he'd seen me play and he was impressed, and keep doing what you're doing. And it's been 25 years. Still remember that conversation.
Yeah,
so
I got tingles as you talked about that.
Yeah.
Those people are out there in the curling world today, and they're giving back to these kids. And I'm a teacher by trade, so when I see kids getting the put-ups and the thing that help them grow in their sport and their life, it's a really cool thing.
Solveig Berg getting right in the hack and firing away.
Gotta go hard.
Almost Phil Drobnik-esque there, Pep. Just get in and throw it as soon as you can. Don't waste any time. And there's a good result from it.
I'm not sure if you caught this, but the joy that Team Berg plays with, I see smiles. And even coming out of the hack there, I think there was maybe a giggle. So I love that. And, sometimes at Junior Nationals, we think too seriously of ourselves, and these guys are really having a good time out here.
Well, that definitely extends beyond Junior Nationals, too. And it's so fun to see that joy, too, of the players maybe playing in their first event like this and getting a taste of that experience where, as we know, all you want to do is get back after you do that. The first
Right.
time you go to a Nationals, the first time you go to a Worlds, and you get to wear USA on your back. Those types of experiences, once you get that taast,
Yeah.
then and being
wanna do
around
it
other
again.
people
I
that
wanna
do the
do it
same
again.
thing, all the
100%.
friends you make. You know, we're talking about our junior nationals that we played in the 90s,
In the 90s.
and the 2000s, where we still remember those friends, and a lot of them we still keep in touch with or play with or against this day. I met John Schuster when I was 13 at a junior camp.
Wow.
And, you know, you got to fast forward a long ways
Yeah.
to when him and I actually played together.
Team Chapman's coach this week is Ross Littman, who I'm sure you know quite well from
Very
Duluth,
well,
but
yep.
I don't know if I've seen Ross in over 25 years, and we just had a nice conversation earlier tonight. So it's a pretty cool sport when you can make those connections that last a lifetime and have good feelings about the people you meet.
Yeah, Ross is one of two people that taught me my delivery, and my father. Dad recruited Ross to teach me.
Wow. Yeah.
Very grateful for that. It's a lot of my delivery, or a lot of Ross's delivery in mine,
And
I should
yours,
say,
sure.
stilled.
Yes! Yes! Roll it, roll
I don't know if he wants to claim it anymore, but a nice hit and stick again there.
You bet.
You got Allie.
Nia Berg.
Same throw.
Ella in the hack helping clean the rock to save on time. All the
That's a
games
professional
timed.
move there.
Absolutely.
Same throw.
And a message from Danny Casper watching the game tonight saying that this is Ty and Pep, the duo we need in the booth.
I listened to you and Danny call maybe
That
a
was fun.
semifinal game.
Yeah, that was really fun getting to do that with Danny.
Yeah.
Got to spend some time with him in the Ardsley Club a few years back. And you know, how far he went in a very short period of
Wow.
time is incredible, really. And such a, can I say good kid now that he's still beating up on
He's
guys
still
my
a good
age?
kid,
Yeah.
He'll have to make an appearance in Eau Claire. There's quite a few USA curling posters with his mug on them. So looking good here, Danny, even if you're not here in person.
Maybe my favorite player in the entire field to listen to on the mic on the ice, too.
Sure.
With the commentary he gives throughout his own games. Danny, I'll call you first take on ESPN star
Wow.
Danny Casper,
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Final stone of this third end. As Mike and I indulge ourselves for 10 minutes during this end. Out turn, hit and stick. Sweeping to try to hold for that single point. Looks like it should.
Team
Nicely
Berg on the
done.
board.
So with that single, Team Giroux leading Team Berg 5-1 after 3 ends of play. With the third end break, Warm Room Heroes, more than just software. They're curlers dedicated to building long-term relationships with your club. Warm Room Hero provides continuous support to ensure your website exceeds your members' expectations. Check out Warm Room Hero today at curling.club. That's Warm Room Hero at curling.club. So a single in the third for Team Nia Berg, cutting the deficit to 5-1, starting the fourth end. First game for both of these teams. And Pep, you're getting a taste of what it's like in the booth when the texts start coming in, because everybody wants their on-air shout-out.
Wow, for sure. The curling world is so special. I've had the chance the past couple years to accompany our junior world teams in Germany and now in Finland this year, and learn so much from our coaches. I learned so much from the players themselves, and that's really continue to grow my knowledge of the game so I can pass it on to our next generation. And it's really thankful for that opportunity, and being a part of the game at that level is something I've been away from for a long, long time.
Like the guard. Preference of what was happening.
And sorry, Danny, we did get the thumbs up to call you a kid from your teammate, Ben Richardson. So we're going to do that probably for the next 20 years still.
Saw there. Very good. 9. If anything curl, it's really wide. Is it here? 7. Is it here?
So come around draw attempt now.
Slowing down a lot. Just curl, just curl, just curl.
Lauren Erickson with the intern. Nice looking line here.
Look at the carved sweep there. Is tucking that right underneath.
Excellent shot.
I saw one of the best in the world in Marius Kleinis do that at the World Championships. He's as good as it gets. It looks like some of these juniors have taken some of his advice at our camps.
You wouldn't have brought that up because he texted you too, did you?
I'm not sure if did that happen.
9-5. Whoa. Uh-oh. Curl. Curl.
So Brooke Giroux, not real excited about this one from the reaction, but looks just fine to me.
Well swept. Did we hear uh-oh in the middle of that shot?
Yeah, usually that's a problem, but
Yeah, I think it would have been just right there anyway.
Good sportsmanship there by Nia.
yeah, Stone was touched at some point there. Maybe that was the uh-oh.
Yeah, you mean your weight. Never mind. Yeah.
But those are the things that you remember too, even with players at a young age when they show that type of sportsmanship, that's their initial reaction.
Yeah.
Not to try to gain an advantage, but to do the right thing. I will not forget seeing that from Nia Berg.
Straight, straight. Just straight, just straight.
Got it.
Straight.
Eau Claire's hosted a number of events, and our first mixed doubles nationals that was held here, which was back in 2014 or 15. I tried playing. We made the quarterfinals, so I still got a little game left. But I played with Ava Raisler. Sorry, Ava's the daughter. Laura Raisler, Laura Delaney. And the first game, my competitive spirits were out, and I think you were playing here at that time too. I can't remember who your teammate was that year.
If it was here, that would have been my sister that year. Actually,
there you go.
Yeah.
And,
I've played, I think, 8 total ends of mixed doubles curling, not with my sister.
That is outstanding.
4 with Natalie Nicholson and 4 with Tab Peterson. So I choose my teammates well.
There you go. But the first end, somebody burned a rock, and I was ready to move it. And Laura looked at me and said, "No, we're just going to leave it right there." I'm like, my goodness, sometimes the competitive juices just get going, and certainly made the right move with that. But
sure.
I had
No surprise on that from Laura either.
Not at all, not at all.
Yes.
Team's trading hits again here. Team Berg seems to be settling in a little more now. Pep.
Yeah.
No surprise that the less experienced team is taking a few more shots to get comfortable, but they look pretty good now.
Absolutely. Figuring out the ice a little bit more, throwing the more consistent weights and a lot more made shots at this point.
Draw.
Allie going for a simple deuce by keeping the house split here.
Yeah, smart shot. Spread the 2 out. The very aptly named junior deuce, as we would call it in the men's game, to split those 2 up.
Okay, curl. Whoa, never curl. 5. Gotta be here. 5. Okay.
The temptation so often from the team chasing this is to try to make the double every shot versus staying in the house or stacking it and leaving yourself an easier angle on the next one. We'll see if Team Berg can keep a rock around and put a little more pressure on Team Giroux.
That rock does come to a stop on the tee line.
But we can't jam. Do you like coming here? I just don't want to jam.
Worried about possibly giving 3 if they catch that on the back rock, I believe.
No, really wide. Really wide. Good curl.
Will curl enough to
That's good.
remove the stone and rolls off.
Okay. Do you like that 410? That like 14.5? Okay.
So likely replace that on the opposite side of the sheet from their counter. Tessa Thurlow playing the intern,
You gotta be in.
trying to go even up.
Okay.
With all the junior broadcasts you continue to do, Tyler, I think the technique and some of the fundamentals that these players have in their slide, it's certainly been good in the past years. I just feel like we continue to have more and more players in the field with solid fundamental deliveries, and sure makes the getting rid of the rock and making it online and throwing the right weight a little bit easier. You see a great split house there by Tessa.
Yeah, the deliveries seem to be repeated very well for Team Giroux here. Good fundamental curling. Very good communication, too. They're vocal on every single shot, and that's a great teaching point for all teams at every level, that if you hear silence, if you don't hear anything, that's the worst thing you can hear. It's okay to be wrong, even if you call something out.
Really hard as a skip when you don't hear words. Oh, and you get the jam there in the back that Nia was worried about earlier.
A very difficult jam with it being that thin, but ends up sticking on the side. But yes, in working with league players at clinics, not just junior players, it's so much about, if I don't hear you saying something, you're not offering anything.
You're not helping
and the
me.
more you do it, the better you'll get at it. The key is to not be afraid to be wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's always the reason why you don't say anything, is whether or not you're sure doesn't matter. It's about giving every bit of information you can, even if you're adjusting it on the fly to something completely different.
As coaching, that first thing out of people's mouths used to be wrong with the teams I'm coaching. Now they've just seen so many rocks at each other. They're more accurate. But you're right. It used to be say it once and then say it twice, and then if you say it 3 or 4 times, now we have the right accurate information coming down to the skip to place the rock where they want.
Sorry. You're totally okay.
So maybe a double here for
We're going to do the double.
Team Berg.
Nia likes to get in the hack and throw it fast, doesn't she?
No reason to waste any time.
Love it.
As long as you know where you got the broom and what weight you're going to throw, just if that's your routine, then
Stick to it.
stick with it, as long as it works.
Hard, gotta go hard. All the way hard.
Hits and sticks. Rolls into the 8-foot for shot rock.
As the game's moved on, you see a few more smiles on Team Giroux as well. I think they have settled into exactly what they want to be doing out on the ice here and feel comfortable with one another.
9-5. A little roll to the center line's perfect, just for separation, but nose sets up a really flat double. So.
I was going to mention every once in a while you see on the home end a coach coming out to talk, and I think one of the greatest changes in curling and especially junior coaching is the ability for the coach to talk to their team or at least a player on the home end for 1 minute between ends.
Right.
And, what an upgrade as far as the communication from coach from off the ice onto the ice, and I think you see it with the players knowing what they want to call a little more often.
Another good shot from Allie Giroux.
Yeah, you never like landing on it, right? You don't feel comfortable with that? So like it.
So for Nia Berg, trying to figure out how to avoid giving up 3.
Yeah. I say this is our best option from getting them scored.
From the Bemidji Curling Club, is that correct, Tyler? The Berg team?
Yeah.
That sounds right to me.
Speaking of our junior national career, my first one was in 1991 at the Bemidji Curling Club.
Okay.
I always remember Bemidji's ice being faster than anywhere else we played at that time,
Land on it.
which probably is average speed nowadays.
Sure, yep.
And we weren't doing hog to hogs back then. I just remember it as being 26 seconds.
Hog to stop.
Yeah.
No matter where it stops.
Just doesn't matter, yeah.
Doing the double. But we'll just try it.
Team Berg is indeed from Bemidji.
Yes.
Final stone of the fourth end for Nia Berg.
Hard.
Looking to play a thin double or a roll over towards that
Yes,
counter.
yes.
It's very close. Oh, nicely done.
Well done.
Clears both
Shot.
yellow stones. Great shot from the young skip.
Yeah. Which turn you want? This turn?
Yeah, we know this way the best.
Okay.
And really no other option on that particular shot outside of freezing for your life.
One of those rare opportunities where both skips are happy. Berg's didn't give up a 3, and it looks like Allie's going to have a draw here for her deuce. So I think everybody's happy with where the end is at.
First look at our clock on the screen for this week.
Just gotta touch, girls. Keep
Mid to
moving,
high
go.
14s, I would guess.
Where?
We had a little bit of a jump in the screen there, so it's going to be a guess on this side of things.
Please. 14-5.
All right, not too
Tessa's
bad.
going to tell us.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier. We don't need to put the clock on the screen if that's the case. It does settle into the back of the 8-foot for a second point. Team Giroux now leading 7-1 after 4 ends of play.
Yeah, right.
Seven-1 advantage after 4 ends of play. Allie Giroux leading Nia Berg, and both teams' first game of this national championship.
Just noticed the rock with, I don't know if either picked or soft rotation really on this ice, and the rocks were just papered earlier this weekend. So it's a sharp curl and lost a lot of its weight with that.
Back 4 on its own.
It does seem that it's still fairly weight sensitive too, even with the papering of the stones. So especially getting outside of the 4-foot lines, anything that we've seen above control weight has really run pretty straight.
It has. In practice earlier today, 9 a.m. this morning, we were throwing peels off the rock, and by the time we played at 2:30, it had calmed down to our firm weight was edge of rock. So took some of the papering certainly helped, but now it's calmed down a little bit.
And that's another thing, even with pre-event practice too, that you see a lot, that it's slower and has more curl in practice than you see in the games. So going in with that expectation helps.
Agree.
It doesn't happen every single time, but the majority of tournaments where you get to practice on the ice before the tournament starts.
And we're watching an experienced team against a brand new team to national, so that's probably a new experience for them. And next time they're a part of it, they'll learn from it and know what to expect.
Sure. And we did see some deep misses early in the game from Team Berg, very likely for that reason, too, that it's not as slow as it was, or I should say with the speed we have, faster than it was in the pre-event practice.
The event, yep.
Now they seem, like as we said, to be getting much more comfortable. One stops up top for a guard. So we'll have some more rocks in play. Team Giroux going right to the attack.
Ella with glove in hand. I had a player ask me if that's a big deal, and it's certainly not. But as a coach, I'm always looking for that thing that could be a 1% difference in your shot making. So looks like Ella's a pro at it at this point.
Not totally unusual to see that.
No.
It's not the norm, but I can think of other players that do that. Was it, I believe it was Sam Strauss back in his earlier men's and juniors days that had his mitt in his mouth.
Is there a JP? Is there another? There's a junior player, I believe, that maybe played with Sam or against Sam. I don't think it was Sam
Maybe
himself,
it wasn't
though.
Sam. Maybe it was that team then. If I got even the right team, I'd be pretty impressed with myself for that. So that's not something I have written down for anything for pregame prep. That's just straight off memory.
Did you not hear me?
That come around ends up wrecking on the guard and spinning through the rings.
A friend of mine, Doug Anderson, you might remember the name from Stevens
I do know
Point.
that name, yes.
I believe at one point in his career would put his gripper in his back, like tuck it in his pants in the back, so it looked like he had a tail. And I told him I would never curl it with him if he would do that again. So I think he stopped.
Back four.
Ella Fleming playing the intern come around opposite side where they just played.
Got a long way to go. Okay. Yep, curl.
They're getting this rock to finish. You see that blading style that we've seen over the last couple of years, where you don't need the rock to go farther, but you're still trying to get it to curl more, and that broom head turned at that diagonal angle.
Finding that right angle is really important to the path that the rock is going to run on. They did a good job not only carving it, but keeping it above the tee line. It's a huge mistake sometimes of junior teams of just slipping a foot or so behind the tee line and you leave the other team an out, but that rock's in a perfect spot.
Yes.
Carol Chance
Hard.
trying to open things up, move these guards around.
Roll it.
Gets a few of them moving. Better situation than it was. Again, those staggered guards that we talked about earlier, where it's very difficult to make any type of run back.
Yeah, for sure.
You can sure tell that Nia and team have been versed in times to clear, and we've seen it at least 3 out of 5 ends now where things look a little sloppy up front, and they're willing to get rid of rocks so that not too much piles up behind it.
Where?
Whoa, don't kill it. Don't kill it.
Where?
Another thing I can think of a lot of experienced players that haven't figured that out yet either. So good to see the young squad.
Agree.
Dig! Dig, girls. Whoa. Whoa.
This intern come around, just over curls a little, stops for another guard.
No, it's okay.
With the young Berg team, and I just saw a glimpse of one of the Chapman sisters on the other team. We have a few young players in the girls' field, and I think overall our entire field only has a player or two on both the junior girls and the junior guys side that are aging out. So, so in addition to the play improving, we still have quite a few young, talented kids, and feel bad calling some of them kids, but like when we see 12 and 13-year-olds out here, it's outstanding to see what they're bringing to the game at this point in their lives.
Run back played, clears 1 yellow, clears 2 yellows in the back. Very nice shot.
Touch them all. It's like your baseball playing days.
That's a great result, getting both those back 2 out. And now just one lonely Yellowstone in.
I'll give it like 4 feet more. 4 or 6.
It looks as though that redstone may be biting in the outside 12s too, so maybe able to bring that one into play with another couple made shots. We'll see if Tessa Thurlow can lob another one down around this pile.
Ella shifting to the straight side.
Whoa. Whoa.
Are able to get it by, now hoping it
No, it's okay.
comes to a stop.
Sorry.
Okay. Okay.
More experienced squad having a little more trouble with bumping rocks tonight.
Footwork,
Yeah.
yeah. You see the amount of curl with where that guard is and where the rock ended up in the back 8 foot. So the button is still accessible for Team Berg here if they would like that, but they're going to play the run back instead.
Yes! Hard! Really now!
Solveig Berg playing the run back again, the double run.
Curl! No straight!
Does clear things open a little bit. And I just got down here today, Mike, but I heard a rumor that the burgers here in the club are fantastic.
I have not tried one yet.
All right.
That's great. I actually
Right here.
went home to let the dogs out and ate there, but maybe I should have had a burger.
Well, our partner in the booth here, Rory McCusker, was the one that clued me in.
All right.
I trust him on this, so.
Off the center is really good.
I like it.
Eau Claire's own Matt Wall over here to our left as well. Got to give a shout out to the hometown boy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
3 inches
Matt's
outside.
done a lot for our club this year and continues to improve the game. He and I ran an advanced learn to curl early this year, and Matt took care of all the on-ice stuff, and I tried to sound smart off the ice. So people had to listen to me for over an hour. I feel bad for them.
Line's good.
Allie Giroux's first here in the 5th.
How heavy? Where?
Playing the out turn again, keeping your opponent chasing, as we mentioned.
Curl.
Going out to the wide side for this out turn draw.
Curl! Just Brooke! Curl, Brooke! Hard, Brooke!
Trying to guard that run. And does stagger it, so that'll be tough to use that red.
A really good placement with that rock.
Sit right here. Okay, sure.
We're not sitting
Unless you want to go this way. Yeah.
On that last run, it looks like the red rock rolled to cover that in-turn draw now, too, so I'm not so sure the button's accessible on around the in-turn side. Looks like that's what they're going to, though.
Whatever you see down there. Okay.
We're trying to at least get the second count going out this far with the in-turn draw.
Perfect T-line weight. You might see that grab a piece of the button.
Little bit less. Do you ever like?
See a nice crowd back behind the glass here. The locals showing up to watch this championship event, and a lot of family and friends in the building. A lot for opening night and for a Monday night.
Yeah, the opening ceremony was a great atmosphere, and
Yes.
one of our local
Go straight.
newscasters with a great voice did the announcing and gave me chills out there hearing that in my own home club of all the players being announced and excited to get the championship started.
Stop pass. Stop pass. Off.
Nia Berg's out-turn draw ends up just touching that guard. Looked like the weight was very
That
good.
was close.
Top 8.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's make it.
Still some staggered angles in the front, too. Getting more difficult to get in there for Team Berg.
Yeah, I believe if Allie keeps this above the T-line, it'll sure be hard for Team Berg to score.
Okay. Top 12, top 8. I mean, play it anywhere on that line. It's bound to be good.
Looking in the crowd, you can see 5th player for Team Giroux, Savannah Cook, and the coaching staff from both teams.
Team Giroux out of St. Paul, Minnesota.
Line's good.
Decent ad.
Okay,
Playing this in-turn come around again. Trying to take away the draw path and get another counter. This one's coasting a little bit too.
Close curl. Curl! Curl, we gotta be back. Curl! You're good, you're good.
Does hit the brakes in the back of the 8-foot, so don't know that they can use that for anything but backing to give one.
There wasn't much we could do with it. Yeah. Like, we leave it high and out, they have this.
With the last draw catching that red one, it made a little more room and certainly a chance to get a rock on the tee line for shot rock here.
I heard tough close. Just gonna draw. I did so.
There are a few options with circus shots to try to score with those
Off
reds
the wing.
on the outside, but
Then at least 13.
Team Berg deciding discretion's the better part of valor. Just trying to hold the opponent to a single point. So final stone of this first half of action in our opening draw for the women's side.
Straight. Hard straight.
Nia Berg playing the out turn draw.
Curl it hard, curl it. Hard curl it all the way out. Hard, hard. Off. Let it curl it.
Hoping that this hits the brakes now, still going. Bounces off that yellow stone and very close on the other counters. Looks like at least 2 for yellow.
Oh, that was last draw.
2.
That's so my bad. I thought I had one more.
Yep, 2.
They have decided on 2, so it will be a steal of 2 and a 9-1 advantage for Team Giroux after 5 ends. Halfway through, it's time for the Broomfitters break. Broomfitters.com is the place for good curling gear and fast shipping on everything curling. For a limited time, take 10% off your first order with the code USA. Visit Broomfitters.com. Spin around the other sheets for tonight's action in this opening draw. Allie Johnson leading Gracia Berg 3-1 on sheet A. On sheet B, Claire Vial leading 5-1 over Miranda Shield. Ava Chapman with a 3-2 lead on Julia Pekowitz on sheet C. And our feature sheet, once again on sheet D, Allie Giroux leading 9-1 over Nia Berg. Back for the sixth end of action. Tyler George with Olympian and junior national champion Mike Poplinski. And Pep, I know we don't have to say it, but we're going to say it as we always do. John Landsteiner, it's always faster after the break.
The mop.
So you see that, Rock?
Magic mop.
Coasts right to the back of the 12-foot. But smart by Team Giroux, sweeping that stone, too, trying to get it as deep as they could. Knowing back 4, back 8.
I always
Doesn't help at all.
I always say that in our team's fifth end breaks, and I didn't today, and we slipped back 4, and I just kicked myself. They're tired of me saying it, but at least I feel better when I do.
Well, it's nothing new for me. I would say that to John Landsteiner at the break, or after the break of every single game we had with one, to the point of annoyance, purposefully. So he will never get away from it, whether he's listening to these games or not. I still always mention his name.
So what is the magic? What happens to our ice in 5 minutes that makes it a nibble faster?
Nobody knows. Nobody ever will. The mystery lives on.
That's right.
All we know is it happens.
Street side, though. Whoa. Street
As
side.
we tried to experiment with it here this season with our LSDs, because after the first LSD is thrown, you have to wait for all the measurements. You sit in the hack and wait, and you have your 1 minute to throw. So it's approximately 3 or 4 minutes, but there's no mop. So it must be the mop.
The mops are magic. Maybe we should be sweeping with mop material.
There you go.
Ends up in the top of the 8-foot for Brooke Giroux. Makes the adjustment after that first shot. Now after a well-thrown corner guard by Lauren Erickson, playing a come around on this one.
8. Line. No. Line. Just line. Just line. Okay.
That one squeaks by the guard.
That's okay.
And important too, Pep, for the rest of this game for Team Berg. You're always trying to win, come back, and get as many points as you can, but trying to put together a good end or two when you feel like things are kind of slipping away, with a big deficit. If you can put up a 2 or a 3 and feel like you played your best end of the game, then that gives you better momentum going forward into the next game. And again, another thing, and it's going to be a broken record with these things this week, that's not just a junior thing. That's for every level of play. Just putting together one good end where you feel like you really started to find your rhythm helps so much going forward in the tournament, especially after the first game.
That scoreboard needs to be invisible right now. An 8-point deficit's almost impossible to come back from, but they can put together some good communication, some good shots being made. I think that will really help them. You notice on the last shot, they were just a little more quiet than the past, and maybe if they just touched the guard, they could have kept another rock in play. And this young team is going to learn that throughout the week and throughout their careers as well as they continue to improve.
No. Yes. No. Whoa. Got it, Crow.
Carol Chance playing the intern hit.
8:35.
Whoa.
Fired that one a little bit.
Make sure you guys get out of the way right away. Because
I think that surprised her teammates. It's a quick split.
Peel being played by Team Giroux. And sometimes in these situations, Mike, when you're the team that has this big a lead, there's some things that you want to work on. That's, maybe there's a particular setup you'd like to put in or a shot that you'd like to play. I like that they're playing just a straight up end here, playing the peel, because you want to stay in that same mindset for the rest of the week.
Yeah, Ella's going to have to make a lot of peels like this throughout the week, and rolling all the way out is really important, so there's no other rocks for Team Berg to hide behind.
There we go.
And very well executed there. Good throw.
You mentioned it in the first end, seeing a rock made, so that one's going to stick in Ella's memory, and for Team Giroux as well. Just we can peel clear ends when needed.
Hard.
Intern hit attempt again.
Maybe catch the double.
And they both go this time.
Just stay on this side. Just stay on this side.
Well done. And same thing for Team Berg, seeing that make now too, and having both those rocks go out. Making doubles at the national championship is never a bad thing.
It seems like Carol fits that traditional second role. She's throwing the rock a little harder and much more confidently each end here.
Close. Yep. Yes. Hard. Hard, bro.
Tessa Thurlow playing the same
Dig.
intern hit. It's going to hit and rolled out.
Just a touch. Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Nothing wrong with keeping a clean slate right now for Team Giroux.
I mentioned the junior development program early in the broadcast, and Allie and Brooke have both been a part of that for a number of years. And Allie's level of communication, Brooks as well, like for kids their age, they're well-spoken, they think through the game, they know how to listen, learn, react to things that are shared, and just really impressed with what they've been able to do in the last 3 to 5 years of their careers. They've really developed into some very good curlers and have bright futures ahead of them.
Good shot.
Settles into the back of the 12-foot.
Click release.
Always good on these hits in the outside of the sheet to keep the weight solid. A little later in the game, you expect it to be up to speed, but never be certain in the outside ice. No let up in the sweep calls either for Allie.
Well, her and Tessa both have the ability to make sure that they're heard by their sweepers, so I love it.
A little more.
Another draw to the outside rings here for Solveig Berg. Sweepers are going to let this one go on its own.
It's strung together quite a few makes in a row there, and that one just got a little away from her.
Yeah, very fast track coming off the center line too. These teams flying through this game. Solid pace for both. We talk a lot at the high levels of the sport about playing with pace. You know, we don't like using the word fast because you don't want to make it feel like you have to go fast. But keeping a good, solid pace where you're doing your job in between shots, cleaning paths, getting in the hack, cleaning the rock off. Don't over-talk unless you need to. Pick the right spots for it. But keep the game moving and keep that rhythm going. I don't know that I can name a team outside of maybe some of Kevin Cooey's teams from the past years that don't play better when they play with a little more pace.
Yeah, the rhythm that you get into when you're in the hack, it's just allows you to be more comfortable, right? It's like going to the free throw line and going through your routine. All teams are trying to play a little bit quicker as they go, and just knowing what that shot is, communicating the weight out, going through your routine and throwing it. And the more you can do that, the better.
Just hit and roll.
And the clocks in our game, and you and I know that they rarely come into play, but when they do in those tight games, there's lots more rocks in play, a lot more thinking going on. We had a practice game this week against some club members. Corey Ward, a former teammate of mine,
Sure.
You remember Corey, and he gave the guys a scrimmage game, and we found ourselves having to throw our last rock with less than 10 seconds left with our practice clock. And when you get in those situations, you have to have a system in place too. So that was really good for us to be able to talk that through.
I did play one spiel with Corey long time ago, helping show me the way as a young buck. I think I was 17 or 18. Played in the St. Paul Cash with him, Ryan Quinn, and Craig Brown.
Wow, what a team.
What an education.
You're the young buck of that group, aren't you?
I was by quite a ways.
Yeah.
And I still remember offering Craig my quarter of the entry fee for the event before, and Craig saying, "Ty, we take it out of our winnings."
I love that. Very Craig-like to say that, too. That's outstanding.
That one never left me.
Yeah, Ryan Quinn, who you mentioned there, played with me in my first junior nationals as a 12-year-old, and was an extreme talent. He almost a professional level in the sport of golf too.
Right.
So we lost his curling skills, but man, he could play.
Well, I can't disagree with you there. Even from that weekend playing with him, I could see it. But so many people have said about Ryan from seeing him play that was one of the great talents we lost to another sport. That he was that good. He made one of the best shots I've ever seen in a curling game that weekend. It was like a 30-foot board weight run straight on where it knuckled the whole way, and it rolled about 6 inches, and he was mad that it rolled.
Just wanted to plant it right there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was incredible, because it's impossible for the rock not to pick up a turn.
A turn, sure.
In that distance, it was like 2 feet over the hog line, running it to a rock in the back of the forefoot.
Let me guess. Craig called it, and Corey swept it, right?
That sounds about right. I might have got a few licks in there, too. Nia Berg, that southpaw out turn, playing the hit and stick. Final stone of the 6th.
Hard! Hard, gotta go hard!
Just
clips
catches a
that
piece.
stone. So we'll be one more for yellow. Giroux leading this game now 10-1 after 6 ends of play.
Twin Cities Orthopedics is ready to go with more doctors, specialty services, and convenient urgent care locations. Ready, set, TCO.
The 10-1 score here in the 7th end of our opening draw of the 2024 U21 Women's National Championship. Allie Giroux and her squad coming out strong.
That one came down. Sorry, bro. That one came
Nice
down
place
more.
by Brooke to keep it above the tee line and make Nia have to deal with it
Do you
later.
like that way or the other way better? Okay.
Nia going right to the corner guard again.
Line's good. Wade's good.
Lauren Erickson with the in-turn.
Is it in? Yeah. So I go 5, 7.
Sweeper's calling this in the house.
Let's go.
There's that communication again with how far it's going.
Does settle into a biter in the outside 12-foot.
I love the hit.
See where they put the broom for this shot now, too. Out this far.
9-5.
A good one for Team Giroux to see.
9-5.
Just got caught looking at the house there with the houses in and the sponsors in front. And remember about 8 months ago, putting the circles in. I guess it wasn't that long. It feels like a long curling season. I know some of these players had the yogs this year, so I talked to Coach Craig Fleming here, and I think he said they've been going since August. So a little longer season than we want for our junior athletes. Hopefully they can get some time off and rekindle that fire for next season.
Kind of set it out pretty nice. Super full. I like the one time I didn't bring my gripper. I was like, oh my god, I was on this side.
That's one of the toughest shots to make on a consistent basis, too, in curling, is that inside-out hit on a rock that's out in the 12-foot especially. Just because you don't see it very often, so you're almost always guessing on where you put the broom for that shot.
Speaking of magical mop, we have the magical center line. That slide when you're going across the center line, you just feel your body not quite on target always.
I almost like that
Good
better.
shot. Because if we rolled, we would have been back house. So.
Get the corner guard up that time for Erickson. Good throw. Good adjustment by the young player.
They're lucky to come around that rock in the top 8 foot. Could tap, but with the amount of curl, I think they can get 2/3 buried if right on the button.
Sweepers trying to get this to the paint. You know, they don't really need guards in play at this point.
Whoa. We're just top 12.
Okay.
Let's see if we hear a time here.
They're low.
Full sweep, that might have been back into the 15s again.
Got it.
I know in our first game today we heard a 16-7 for a tight guard that was swept a good portion of the way.
Narrow. Wait. All there.
Once you're getting into the high 16s, that's
Like an 8.
barely kicking out of the hack.
Yeah.
Line. It's all there.
Talked about Team Abear
It's
earlier. We played in Oshawa, Ontario in a Canadian Junior Cup this year. And had great results. The team played very well, but we did have some hog-to-hogs that were mind-boggling. The ice was lightning fast.
I think we do this.
The kids said they'd like to play on that more and more, and I'm like, I think the sweepers feel more engaged. They can really carry a rock a long ways, but you're right. Once it hits 16 and is in the paint, that's a very fast surface.
I think I might pass on that really fast ice for any spiels I may or may not do in the future.
Fastest click you've ever had?
I think we had. I know the club where I feel like it was the fastest. We played in the Icebreaker spiel in late August at the Granite Club in Winnipeg, and I think we had something in the 18s get over the hog line.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know.
I know I think we had a 17 get swept to the paint. Like the top 8, I think we got with a 17.
See, I'm back to my playing days, but I don't know the equivalent of like hog to tee versus hog to hog.
Right.
We were clicking at the World Juniors in '94, way back when, Perth, Scotland, and I remember clicking 30.1 from hog to stop, which doesn't seem possible.
That's too much.
We're going to make up a number, and we're going to say that was a 19 hog to hog.
That's got to be pretty close.
Right?
I just really needed.
Right.
I think I like just back 8. Like back 8, back line. If I tap the yellow, so be it.
I think like that 13-8 should be pretty close. It's just so curly, and I have like a little bit of that rock. Okay. Had a curl.
Whoa, not yet.
Now out turn come around for Thurlow.
No! Curl!
Pile of yellow stones in the top of the 12-foot.
Hard for a piece! Hard!
Nice shot by Team Berg to get
Yuck.
into the 4-foot underneath those stones, and maybe an opportunity to set up a multiple point end, as we mentioned earlier, Pep, to get a little momentum to go forward in this tournament.
Just seeing another one get under a guard there, seeing a nice position. I think that's definitely building for Team Berg for the rest of the week.
Here's the curl. Where is it? Where is is it?
Plenty of room on this path now.
You can hear him asking where is it. You can the front end is not mic'd, but you can certainly see Lauren and Carol communicating with their vice and skip of where the rock is going to end up.
Probably this way.
Team Berg sitting 2.
Can we go? I probably have to play this way even if I just sit on top. Right. Do you want to play like? A force is good. 9-5? Yeah, a force is good, Allie. I like it. Yep, that's fine. Just 9-5.
So 9-5, you hear the call for the weight. So just playing normal. Trying to get it to finish a little bit once it gets by the guard to maybe get both of those stones moving.
Or to sit on an edge. I think Tessa was talking about a force, so if she can
Sure.
make it tough for Red to score more than one.
Anything on the inside, probably good. I don't know if there's a spot in between that hurts them. This will be just off nose on the outside.
It was good. I had a 9-4.
A little bit. Do you ever like coming here? No, probably not. I like over here.
Looks like Allie might have a
But
run
then we
at
could
those
just
staggered
land
rocks
on it.
above if she wants it later.
Let's just come here. Okay. We just gotta be buried.
I like the call here from Nia, too. If you play that freeze to the rock on the outside, then you're letting your opponent take that position. And so much of these situations is about coaching your teams and your players. What's our opponent want to do? What's their outs? And not that you're playing to them, but you're looking at the rock setup and saying, if they got to throw right now, where would they go?
I often talk about it in Learn to Curls. There's no defense in curling except for your offense. This is a great offensive shot that also defends what your opponent could do. So I love that call and great execution too.
Really good spot. Nice shot.
9-5. Even if you just peel the
And you see that so much when you have hammer, especially. Is if you're trying to set up a 2 or 3 point end, what's your opponent's way out? How can they kill your end? And for this end, Giroux's out would have been to play that freeze.
She would have gotten, made it really hard for Team Berg to score more than one or even to get their one at that point.
We're going to play for the double, but I mean, I'm not too worried about 9-5. Yeah.
So this will be a hit what you can see pretty much. Maybe a little thinner than that to lose both.
Across the face of the back one if she can.
Yeah, we heard 9-5 again. That's the weight they seem to be comfortable playing right now. There'll be a little wobble coming out. We've all had a few of those.
Turbulence. Got it.
Oh, really well done. Nice shot.
Really good.
Good clean throw.
Hey, I heard the early sweep and then not much. That's usually a good sign, right?
So it'll be the same draw now. This time Nia Berg throwing it.
Nia's intern side, maybe get a little earlier curl here.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, just trying to get back into the 4 foot, see if you can find 2 with your skips last 2.
Sounds good to me. No, we're good on time. Do you see the sheet over there? It tells us what time we should be at. Thank you.
Using the reference sheet for the clock here.
They're full experience right now, aren't they? This is great.
Where is
They're
it?
making a lot of shots and learning a lot about a national competition. I love it.
I really like how she throws the stone, though. It's very natural. She's not thinking about how to throw the shot and make it. She's just doing it. And there's not a lot of movement in it. The moving parts that you don't need. That's something we talk about with players at all levels.
If this stays shot
too.
in the back of the house, she's fully buried, and it does force Allie probably into the draw. I guess she could try that run up front, but
Yeah, really nice shot again.
Even if I go
Almost daring your opponent to play the freeze now.
for sure.
You got it.
We're not seeing as much curl now.
Okay.
I think
First side's left.
right.
good lesson for our younger curlers here as that shot was coming. I'm assuming the sweepers on Team Giroux are getting that hog to hog, so they know exactly what they're looking for on Allie's rock.
Top 4, top 8's okay. Oh, my foot's kind of cramping. It's okay. Ouchie.
Be a little foot cramp there for Allie. She mentioned getting in the hack.
Also quick when she gets in the hack to throw it too. This the pace of play, like you talked about, it's really good.
Room right now. Room right now. Line's good. Close. Close. Curl.
Needs to come up.
Hard to try.
Looks like that's going to go by, so there will be a draw for 2 for Team Berg. Maybe finding a skip's deuce.
They really found a nice path and made a bunch of good draws around that center.
Yeah, really, if the previous stone by Solveigberg carries another foot, that shot's not there, and maybe you're looking at a 3 or a 4
Sure.
stacking those stones in. So very good execution this end from Team Berg. We saw them throw a lot of hits early in the game, and now making some draws as well.
I guess that's true.
So feel good moving into the rest of the week
So
here.
your time
Some
was
points
an
on the
88.
board and a lot more made shots. I love seeing the confidence grow.
Final stone of the 7th end. Nia Berg looking for a draw for 2.
No.
Sweepers don't want to go. Might have some backing over there.
To catch the red, not quite.
Okay.
That will
one
go
red.
too far. It ends up just being a single. So a 10-2 score after 7 ends of play. USA Curling would like to take this moment to thank the curling community for supporting the sport and the national organization. Whether it's through your membership, donations, or volunteer hours that help our game grow. Your support makes many of our efforts possible, whether it's the webcast coverage you're enjoying right now, the Our House content platform, certification programs for instructors and officials, or the Athlete Outreach Initiative. On behalf of USA Curling, thank you for all that you do. Ten to 2 the score. Allie Giroux leading Nia Berg after 7 ends of play in this opening game of the 2024 U21 Women's Nationals. Other scores on sheet A: Allery Johnson leading 4-2 over Gracia Berg. Claire Viau 6-3 over Miranda Scheel on sheet B. Ava Chapman, the 4-3 lead on Julia Pekowitz on sheet C, and again our feature game. 10-2, Allie Giroux leading Nia Berg.
A lot of Minnesota flags up there, Ty. In that ladies' field.
A lot of good young talent all across the country. Minnesota, of course, with a lot of curling clubs. A lot of good young talent that we get to see on display this week.
Hard street, hard. Hard.
We're just a 3.
You're good.
Couple of guards starting off this end.
Another guard, you just like coming in. Yeah. In pro side light. Pro side light. You got it.
Communicating to her lead where she'd like the rock and where it could be if not. So we'll see Lauren execute here.
If anything straight. Curl.
In-turn draw for Lauren Erickson.
Just curl, just curl.
Don't know that she looked real pleased with it, but this looks like a pretty
Hard
good
curl.
result.
All the way.
Great pair.
Good shot.
Maybe it was just that good that she didn't need to watch it.
Freeze.
That's good.
Stopping. top 4.
You guys can just dust that one in.
That's right. No input, just throw it and let the skip hand and sweepers handle it.
Brooke Giroux trying to follow on that line.
Gotta be top
In-turn
8,
draw.
Curl. Top 8. Gotta curl. Top 8. Really gotta curl. Whoa. Gotta curl. Top 8. Whoa.
Looking
We're
for
still
top
wide.
8.
Top
Looks like
4.
it's still gliding.
Back 4.
Tessa swiveling to
We're
the
just out
same
in the middle
size
of
as
nowhere.
Ella.
Yeah,
Trying
we
to
are.
get a little more curl out of it, but
She kind of just
okay result.
having a tough time. Okay. 14.
Nia
got it.
strategically is ahead of her years, isn't she? It just seems to put the broom down and call the shot quickly and knows what she wants.
Yes! Gotta go! Gotta go!
Yeah, when you're just
We're hitting the
reacting
guard.
instead of overthinking,
Yeah.
sometimes that's the best way to go. We've seen players that have moved
You're just
from
really narrow.
maybe the 3rd position to skip in maybe the later stages of their curling development, where for the first season or two it seems like it's all reflex and everything goes smoothly, and then you start to overthink a little bit, and then it gets to be hard again.
I've noticed from my coaching days that when I go and try to skip my own game, I overthink because I know what's right, and I don't know if I
Right.
always have the firepower to go and make those shots.
9-5. Close. Yep. Yes! Hard!
Out-turn hit attempt from Ella Fleming.
Really nice.
Great shot.
Good,
Nice run back.
That's fine.
Kept it partially covered as well.
More broom. No. You got it.
A very good execution from Team Giroux, especially for the first game of a competition.
Narrow. But it looks really fast.
Ella's all smiles on the side there.
That rock picked out
Whenever
by
I give her more broom, she's always
Carol Chance.
a 7-5. So,
Top 8.
yeah.
One thing the officiating crew has been able to do this week, you can see officials in the background of each sheet is have a game official per sheet. And certainly like that. You always feel like you have eyes on as a player and as a coach to know if anything does need officials' attention, that it's always being handled immediately.
Top 8.
We do appreciate the time that the officials put in for these events too.
Curl. Top 4.
You know, when
Curl.
we finished our competitions, we always made sure to thank them for that time, and
Hard. Test it.
coaching things that I've done, I always make sure the same thing for your young players.
Hard.
Great lesson if you can turn a thankless job into something you can thank people for. It's pretty good lesson in life.
No.
We thank the ice crew too. We just don't want to say too many nice things to Sean.
I like hitting the double.
Get an inflated ego.
We don't have
I have always said I thought our Nationals ice was the best ice we played on all year, every year though.
Yeah, outstanding.
And the consistency of it too, when you've played in multiple events, whether it's the juniors or the men's or women's, the mixed doubles, being able to say going in,
Curl.
here's what the speed's probably going to
Yeah.
be. Here's where the
Let's go
break
slow
point's
down.
going to be on weights. You know, here we're seeing a little more speed than we've seen in past ones, but the break point for the weights, how it's a
Yeah.
gradual curl, it's
Yeah.
not a sudden one like you see in Grand Slam events.
The amount of I could talk about it as a coach leading up to the event. I could talk.
Exactly.
This is what you're going to get, and it's just a treat, a luxury to be able to have that. So we're real thankful for the work Sean does. And shout out to our ice maker here at the club, Jason Card. Does an amazing job year in and year out. And I know he and Sean have really enjoyed working together.
Where?
Tessa Thurlow with her out turn.
Whoa.
Just throwing to the open side here.
Whoa. Careful. Maybe slow down.
Hoping this stops
Yep,
for second
yep,
count.
Yep.
Good read by the sweepers, getting a little more distance, but staying shot.
Here.
Still sitting 2.
The goal accomplished, right? Sit 1-2 and force Team Berg under the center again.
And it's a smart shot, too, that's maybe beyond their years, throwing that to the open side as opposed to coming around the guard again, because any freeze thrown under that guard, you're still sitting 2. So the placement of that stone in the first place, being in the top of the 8-foot, so that any freeze wouldn't outcount something you throw to the wing, keeping your scoring space open, where you can throw those shots to the side of the house
100%.
instead.
Great looking shot by Solvik, just catches the guard.
I like those.
A very nice weight there.
Hair high.
Bounces off a touch.
9-5.
But getting better and better results as the game goes.
Yeah, and just with their age, they're really good sweepers, but they're just not quite as effective as the older team, and they've had a couple rocks that have just caught guards, and a few years they'll see those rocks get by just with the power of their sweeping.
Whoa.
Never.
Curl.
Never.
Hard curl. Hard.
Oh, stop it.
Ella Fleming getting that one to dance a little bit. Does roll out, but still sitting 2. Good accountability there, too, from Allie Giroux. That's not something that's easy to teach, with knowing that, hey, that's on me. And the key with that, it's great to have it just as a teammate, to have somebody take responsibility for something if they feel like they made a mistake. But even more important, if you don't do that, it's hard to figure out what went wrong with the shot.
100%. And as a player, we talk about you're going to make mistakes, and Allie just admitting that to her teammates allowed them to know that, okay, next time she's claiming that error and going to be better the next time she gives it their sweep call, and understanding a rock coming out of Tessa's hand.
Yes. Hard.
Nice clean release here from Nia Berg. It's that gradual release, too. See, that's more old school. That's my style there. I like that. We see a lot of those pops for rotation now.
Still is throwing it. It's the rule in my book is you have to throw the rock, not let go of the rock. And she's, even though it's coming out smooth, she's still in charge of everything that rock does.
Right. Comes up a hair short. Perfect line on it again, though.
Should be good.
Allie, that 15-3 should be close.
Yeah, I like it.
So
Tyler, I should thank you as a junior coach. We talk a lot about watching curling, but when they get a chance to listen to curling and listen to your expertise, I know that's helping juniors around our country. So what we're able to do with these streams and your expertise, it's passed along and it's shared. And as curlers, I know we do that on the side, but to be able to see that in front of all these viewers, it's really a cool thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to do. I appreciate it, Pep, and being able to work with the curling stadium crew and USA Curling to put these events on is it does do a lot for the sport, and having people like yourself coaching these young teams and helping mold them too. Getting the exposure for these events is great, and having the wheel of different co-commentators that we have throughout these things is a lot of fun too, bringing different expertise and different levels of experience and different stories and things like that. It keeps things fresh. It's a lot of fun.
Always worth a listen. I love tuning in if I can watch, but if I can't, sometimes it's just to listen and hear what's going on in the game. And mentioned listening with you and Danny call a game from mixed doubles, and I continue to learn myself. I think we're old, but there's still plenty in this game. It's never perfected.
So Nia Berg's final stone here in the 8th end. Playing the same come around draw on the outturn side. Throwing against a few Team Giroux counters. Been very impressed with this Giroux team tonight too, Pep. They play a very strong, aggressive game. They play with pace. They play with emotion.
Dedicated players that do just a great job. Look at this shot.
Right to the button.
Shot.
Stops for shot rock and over berries, so they can't dig it out. That's a great shot.
Yeah, they got the inside edge of that. Maybe.
I like that.
Because I think that's coming back.
Tessa sees it.
I don't know how much of this do I have.
How much of this, Ella?
Now, you can't play it with a lot of weight because you need it to finish when it gets by that guard.
Okay.
I hate that.
And you do have the run that she's looking at, too. That one you know you can make.
Well, hack, you're never getting that far enough.
Board.
What'd she say?
I don't know. Board.
I think this was great for both teams again. What a great shot by Team Berg, and for Team Giroux, you're just complimenting, like, just to be in a situation where you have to make a good one and talk it through and challenge strategically a little bit here too. Looks like Tessa really likes this. Did you hear the weight that they settled on?
Yeah, they're calling board.
Okay.
That's what she likes. So that's probably pretty close to what you need to play. Now she's saying 10-5, so maybe closer to control. Control will give you more action off that stone to try to push the opponent's shot off the button. It won't curl as much once it gets by, but it's kind of 6 1/2 dozen with that. So this will be the final stone of the 8th.
Close, girl.
Allie Giroux trying to play control weight, come off of her own stone.
Curl.
Needing this to curl now.
That's okay.
Looks like she's got nose.
You're fine.
Not quite nose.
What a nice shot for the steal by Nia Berg. And they do get the single, cut the deficit to 10-3 after 8 ends of play. So we do have handshakes during the break there. Allie Giroux gets the 10-3 victory over Nia Berg in this opening draw. A great start for Team Giroux. And a nice finish, Pep, as we talked about, too, from Team Berg, making some shots late, getting a little bit more momentum going into the rest of the week.
Yeah, they'll have a great feel for the ice when they come back tomorrow. And just stealing on a team like Team Giroux is a good feel as you go home tonight.
I believe we'll probably see Pep back by popular demand with all the texts that were coming in, too, when he's not coaching and he's able. It's been a pleasure having you on,
Absolutely,
Pep. And
Tyler, this is great.
thanks to everybody for indulging us in our reminiscing while we call the game of the night, too. We could go all night with that stuff, but
more 90s curling than half of the audience wanted to hear. 2/3 of the audience.
we do have other games still going tonight if you want to switch over to other coverage for this first draw. But until tomorrow's games, Tyler George and Mike Poplinski signing off. Thank you for watching.